Today, let's get to listen to stories of triumph amidst failures, courage despite fear, strength through weakness, and even the occasional hopeful cheer from personal punny experiences. I am your host, RKaye, and this is the BetterU Podcast. What is up, fam? Welcome to another episode of the BetterU Podcast. Coach RKaye here. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as we wrap up the month, today let's try to also wrap up our step-by-step, or rather the many experiences and stories that I have shared with you guys for the past few weeks in relation to starting up or revamping and jump-starting your fitness journey. And I know, some of the different tips and tricks and advice that we mostly have for many people, especially those starting out their journey from scratch. I know a lot of them really do have many similarities. People just tell you, oh, it's the same advice. It's always the same kind of steps. And to tell you frankly, I do agree with that. But in essence here, guys, what I am trying to really want you all to understand, and a great emphasis of what I would like to always share with you repeatedly, is that a lot of fitness journeys and transformations and the results that you want, some people will have possibly similar results, similar transformations if you look at it in general, but I am telling you that each person really has a different and very unique type of journey, of story, of experience. And that's really one of the key things that I want you guys to always remember. Many of us, when we start out our fitness journey, we feel very hopeful, and then in the middle of it, we just feel like nothing's happening, and that the effort that we put in isn't really matching up to the expectations that we have. And so today, as we wrap up our episodes about fitness journeys, about transformations, I just want to share a few more key points that I know will also benefit you guys, especially if, it's always something that you start out to feel confident in, and then, like I mentioned, in the middle of your journey, you just drop off and tell yourself, forget about it. It's not even worth it. And I believe one of the number one things that many people these days look into and really project for their own journeys is normally that thinking of a time frame. That's one of the things that I myself have experienced. Many people just pressure themselves too much and look at, the number of days and the number of weeks, the number of months that they have to spend in order to get the results that they want. And that's why a lot of these fitness ads that come up, I'm sure you guys are quite familiar, especially if you do your searches. You know how the algorithms of social media, and even just looking up on your search engines, technology really does just show ads that you would normally search for, like topics you would search for. And if you're really into getting into a lot of these different fitness programs and these different fitness challenges, you'll be able to see and compare that a lot of them will tell you, oh, lose X amount of weight in X amount of days. And that, to me, I think is one of those toxic ideologies, the mindset of people who really, really get a little hint of desperation when they want to really have the change and really seek a change in their own transformation in their own body. And that, to me, is a key point that many people really need to look into, because quite frankly, I'm not saying that these challenges are, stupid impossible to do. I'm not saying that no one will be able to accomplish it. I am just saying that when it's that type of thinking that we all just see, and it becomes something that a lot of us just always have to deal with all the time, many people will have that idea that, oh, okay, if someone or a trainer says that I can lose this much of weight in just a span of 10 days, 15 days, I don't know, 3 days, sometimes it just becomes a toxic idea that you have to look a certain way in such a short amount of time. And to me, especially if you're someone starting from scratch, if you're someone really wanting to lose such a big amount of weight, it's tempting to say and to prove yourself and pressure yourself to do that in such a short amount of time. And for some, as I mentioned a while ago, every journey is unique. For some, it will be a challenge that is easily completed. But for others, it will actually be very detrimental to their health. Not just physically, it can also be detrimental to them emotionally, psychologically. And to me, that mindset is just something that is just quite impossible to really, to me, I just do not understand why people, or trainers for that matter, need to tell potential clients that, this is good for you. And I think that's something that's just very superficial. If you take a look at it, in essence, they tell you that you have to just look a certain way to be able to tell that you're fit and that you're healthy, which to me, I strongly believe is not really something that I agree with. And to me, that amount of pressure, putting that amount of pressure on anyone is just a little bit, it's just a little bit too much. And so today, I just want you guys to know and to realize that if you really want to stay fit and healthy throughout your journey, and as I've mentioned from the previous episodes, when I tell you guys it's a journey, it really is a journey, because it's your everyday life until you grow old, until you go have your own family, you have your children, your grandkids. And you have to really look at everything in a standpoint where you look forward to a long journey ahead, and it's not just an abrupt, very quick journey. But don't get me wrong, let's say you really want to prepare for something special. Maybe you have your wedding coming up, or maybe you have a reunion coming up. I am not opposed to you guys going through any fitness challenge and doing your best to really maybe lose some weight, get leaner, have more muscles. I don't oppose to that. I don't really oppose to having these different challenges that come up. Don't get me wrong. But to me, in essence, if you really, really want the change to stay with you for the long run, for the long haul, and just grow old telling yourself that you are still really fit and healthy, and just continue on with many of the different physical activities that you love and you are passionate about, you have to look at it in a perspective that will be able to keep the longevity of those activities. All right. With these different challenges that really push you to the limit at a limited time of days, a month, weeks, to me, that just says that it's just short-term change. To me, that really is it's a crucial step. If you begin and end it, perfect. But after that challenge, are you still able to continue? That's my key idea that I would like you guys to really, really think about and really, really try to understand better. All right. If you're the type to go and get enrolled and join these different types of fitness challenges, are you able to continue it? Or are you just hopping from one program to the next? That's one of the key things that I also want you guys to look up for yourselves. And another thing also that I would like to leave with you guys in today's episode is also the results. With the limited time that's given in these challenges, there's also the results that they push you to achieve. I think, to me, getting results means that you have a particular goal that you want to achieve. And as we've mentioned, that can actually be a reason why you are starting off in your journey to become better, right? And to me, there's nothing really wrong with that. But if you recall, I did mention that the results have to be something that is realistic in terms of your own unique journey. And so if it's something that brings you from point A to point Z, you have to realize that there are many other steps in between those, right? And so to these different fitness challenges, you have a certain level of expectation, right? And if you don't get to achieve it, does that mean that there's something wrong with you? Or is it just that the program or the challenge that you joined was something that was not really a match for you? That's something that you should also look into, guys, because many of these different challenges will be, let's say, at 100 participants, maybe 50% of them will be very, very successful. And maybe the rest of them maybe drops off in the middle of the program. Some will say that they didn't get the result that they want. So you want to look at that part of the population that didn't really get the result that they want. Was it because they didn't stick to the program as expected? Or was it because the program wasn't really something that was matched up with what they currently are at? So that's also something that I want to share with you guys as well. You know, there are many different fitness challenges and programs out there that claim to be far superior to many others. And to me, of course, there will be some that are 100, even 1,000% excellent out there. But even so, would those particular programs really equip you to have the change that you want? Because again, these programs are tools to help you achieve your goals. And so a particular tool, if it's not matched up with what you really want for yourself, it's not really going to work. It's just saying that for someone who wants to reach a certain level of flexibility, you want them to do a lot of cardio. You know, it doesn't really match. So what I'm saying here, guys, is that if you want to really reach a certain result, you also have to look into which type of training is really the one that will help you out and become a good tool for you to reach the changes that you have always wanted to get for your own journey. That, to me, is something that a lot of people still get confused with. You know, we always get blinded with the X result in X amount of time. Okay, that's I'm simplifying it, I know, but that is always something that a lot of us get really enticed to try out, right? I myself, if I see that on the ads, I get a little curious. It's something that really pokes an interest in many of us, right? As a trainer, of course, I will never really get into it unless maybe it's something that is along what I do. So if it's like a strength-based training program that sells you out and tells you, oh, carry maybe 50 kilograms more in 5 days, I know for a fact that that would be very impossible. But of course, if I see it, I will go check it out and see what is the deal with this person. Why are you saying that? So a lot of these different fitness training ads that pop up, you know, I just want you guys to be very wary about it and just look it up first and see if it really does match what you want for your own journey. Because, guys, uh, as we've mentioned for the previous episodes, one of the many things that will really help you achieve the results that you want is not just the reason behind why you want to continue on with your journey. There's also the plan that you have to have, right? And so if it does not really match up with what you are trying to achieve, then you should find some other way to help you out. And that is really something important as well, because when your expectation of the results doesn't match up with whatever it is that you have chosen, it just pretty much makes you think that the journey that you're in is something that you shouldn't even have began, right? It's so let me let me rephrase my trail of thought here. To me, guys, a good amount of time when we're in our journey of change, we do have particular expectations when we go through these different fitness challenges and programs, and our expectations aren't really reached. Sometimes we blame it on ourselves. Okay, this is a thought that's coming up to me in my mind right now, and it, to me, based on experience as well, it's not really the program itself that you will critique. Okay, the criticism will always land on you, and a lot of us just brush that off, no big deal. But in essence, if you try to look back at the different times where you started out, you began your journey, you were seeing a little bit of change, and then you suddenly stop. If you try to recall and remind yourself, why did you stop? What was it that made you forget about it? And mind you, if you really think about it, if you really recall those times, I bet you that maybe 60 to 80% of that time, it would have been because you thought it was you that that had a problem, which, quite frankly, again, is something that a lot of us need to really understand more and really deal with more. All right. So today, guys, I want you all to always remember that just looking into such a short period of time and specific results, you have to be very wary about it, because again, change does not come overnight. After 24 hours, I want to see the results. It's not really gonna happen that way, all right? And so change and your journey, it has to be there for the long haul, guys. You have to have that really good commitment, as we've mentioned, and you really, really have to think of your consistency as well as something that will stick with you until you're able to move. And hopefully, if you do stick with it, it will be until the age where you are a grandparent already, or if you have a partner, you guys will still be those old folk that go to the gym and have a great time. All right, so I shall stop here and cut off my ramblings, but yes, I hope that you guys were able to pick up a few things in today's episode, and we shall start off with another hint of ramblings for next month. So watch out for our other episodes in the next weeks to come. All right, guys. So let me bid you adieu. Goodbye. Coach RK here, signing off, but always reminding you to never give up on your movement journey because it's never too late to move. Bye, guys.